coming into these last 25 days of these 100 days in this cave only world, what we really gotta start focusing on is getting some life into this village right here. There are still so many small details all around this town that we gotta do. Some things are gonna be pretty simple, like we just gotta add some sort of like small little farms and stuff like that going around here. We could maybe even add an area, maybe that could be like here, where all the chickens that we have back home we could actually take into this town right here. Also, I don't want these chickens to yap in my house all day, bro. They're too loud, too annoying to listen to. And yeah, I could just turn the sound down, of course. But who says I'm that smart? I gotta make sure this thing doesn't break. We gotta have all of these villagers actually come over to the town itself. So we gotta make sure we build some sort of railway that we can just travel them all over there. But I think before taking them to the town, I'd rather finish it off. I believe I've come to a conclusion on how we do this area. We gotta remove it. That's step number one. So this shouldn't take too long, but we gotta remove this place. What I need to actually be able to remove it is a bunch of gravel and stuff like that. And I've spent all of my gravel making all of this different concrete. So I need to actually, for once in my life, go and grab gravel because I'm in dire need of gravel. I know that's not a sentence you hear quite often, but it's happening. I think 4 stacks of gravel is plenty gonna do it, so let's quickly remove this place up here so we can actually kind of finish off the town itself. Having all of that removed, what I'm thinking is I want to build some sort of staircase just like this down over at this side over here. And then just like with these walls, I want to extend them all the way around. And then we can really start completing off the village.
VD.
I swear, this lava under, man. This lava, I don't know, like I thought, oh man. Just because there's just like a couple layers under a while, it just has to freaking burn everything, man. This is so annoying. Do I really genuinely have to like go down everywhere and... Holy, what the hell is happening down here? Well, hello there, guys. You are not welcome whatsoever. I really truly do think I have to go all the way around everywhere and get this like one layer around here. Otherwise, well, I think everything is going to keep on burning. And it's not really something I'm interested in. Even though I have a couple of hiccups in my plan. My plan is still going very well right now, and everything is slowly but surely making its way to be quite perfect around here. I think that... Nope. I was about to say, I think that should probably do it, but I don't even know where the lava is coming from then. Like, how much is like... I don't even understand this. Jesus, bro. Everything is so annoying right now. Can we like please just stop this, guys? All of this just because of annoying lava. I will say though, it's definitely going to be worth it in the end. Sometimes things are annoying just for it to be absolutely perfect after. I believe I've fixed all the few hiccups now. Let's see if this catches on fire once again. I do not believe it will, but I've been wrong many times before. Now this area up here still needs to somehow, someway be lit up so we don't have any zombies actually coming nearby from up there or anything falling down to the city. And damn, of course. I guess it's nap time. But my idea is to somehow, someway make a kind of... Yeah, I gotta kill this thing. I gotta kill this thing. I'm not listening to that screaming, bro. It's like having an argument with your girlfriend. It just never stops. So my plan is that this area over here could be considered like a farming area. So just somehow, some way, I would say rather easily, I want to just fill in a staircase. So maybe if we can empty out this area right here and then just remove a few blocks. And then we can start adding some sort of staircase going all the way up. I wanted to use some oak wood over there to kind of switch it up from only being birds, but I literally... Why is this... Oh yeah, the creeper. I was about to say, why is that gone? I already know. Yeah, so let's just make it down here to the risky area and quickly grab ourselves a... Yeah, this is why I call it the risk area. How many? Maybe 4? Look at this. I literally... Nah, this is BS. Yeah, I'm just gonna let them chase me and just grab this. This is the running, grabbing wood thing. Okay, I'm making it kinda. You know what, Ben? Surprisingly doing really well with that. Alright, I don't know how this is working, but it's working, and we'll go with it. So let's quickly just make our way up from here and, well, just away. And I'm running out of hunger, so now I can't even sprint. Which is not what you want to see when you have baby zombies chasing you. Go and die with you. There we are. Damn, that actually got close, bro. It's my hunger, man. If I could have just sprinted, there would have been no issue. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to take these oak logs right here and just complete off the staircase slowly but surely to get up here. So basically what that gives us is just something like this right here. Simple and nothing over the top. I'm probably thinking that if I just take some of my deep slate and just kind of fill in this area right here at the wall, this will just kind of remove this whole path in there. I think I'm just going to take my deep slate and kind of fill in this wall right here. Alright, yeah, that kind of just removes the wall itself of being crazy open. Alright, yeah, that works for me. So then what I can do maybe is take some of my dirt and just slowly but surely fill in over here as well to make it look just a slight bit more natural. I think that would help the whole feel of everything up around here. It's like small areas like this right here where there is an opening to something that I really cannot miss these. If I miss these types of spots and forget to light it up, I will lose the entire city just because like one little thing can get in here and that's basically game over for my villagers. Now the plan is just to throw in a couple of lanterns up here so that we guarantee that this area is completely lit up and not a single zombie will actually have the opportunity to spawn around. This isn't like quite necessarily like a part of the village itself, so it's not like I want to spend too much time doing anything like really crazy around here. I just want to, well, make sure that it's actually safe. I do think this right here probably has the entire area lit up then. And then what I'm thinking for the area is just because I don't really want to spend too much time on the area itself, I think I'm just going to make it like a wheat area up there. So if I could just grab a bunch of my seeds from here and then fill them in up there, it will probably end up looking solid without having to do too much work for it. More like a really cheap trick, but sometimes a cheap trick is what's required. Otherwise, we will end up running out of time. I should definitely lit this area up over here as well. Let's try and see what we can do with this area right here. I feel like it's actually a little tough to figure out exactly how I can do this area the best way, so let's figure something out. I think this brings some solid life up to the area itself up here. As soon as everything is grown up, it's going to be even more colorful and like just, I don't know, it's really simple, but at least it has something to it, right? Let's remove these things right here. I have an idea for the area that we have right here, but I just gotta exactly figure out the measurements first. So from this side all the way over to the other side is 16 blocks. What I am thinking of building right here is kind of like a more special house in comparison to the houses over here. And in the quote-unquote special house, I want to put the enchantment room. Now, since it is 16 blocks, I was kind of hoping it was going to be an uneven number, but unfortunately that's not the case because, you know, things just don't plan out like you want them to ever. That's just how it goes. So what I am thinking is that I want to maybe go to the corner right here and build some sort of mushroom going up, and then in the areas on the outsides I could have like a pond with sugarcane, maybe some drip leaves, and then like some sort of like water thing going under here with a bridge over it over to the actual mushroom itself. And like I said, obviously inside it will then have the enchantment. I'm liking the idea in my head. Now my head is not the most brilliant place in the world, I'll tell you that for free. It's, well, you probably wouldn't want to spend a day in there, I'll tell you that for free, man. One might consider it a horrible place, but I do think I have some fun ideas for this area. It's just a matter of fletching your ideas out to reality and actually make them come probably true. So what I think I should do starting off with is actually, like I've done with the other houses, find some sort of schematic that works for this area right here. Before I start working too much on the area, I definitely want to make sure that I feel that it is the proper size of everything. So what I am thinking is that probably around and about right here is where the actual house is going to be. So if we can maybe do, if I take the corner right here and I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that will then be this block right here. I might actually go one further out, make it a 6. So then a 1, 2, a 1, 2, 1, 2, and a 1 and a 2. Then I probably want to extend that by 1, because I want right here, this literal block this block right here is where the actual enchantment table is gonna be. You know what, maybe what I should do is I should actually grab the enchantment table, put it in there, and then build the room around the table instead. I love how I've just literally abandoned this house. Like, I've just been so focused on the actual village and just not caring whatsoever about my actual house. And I'm almost confident in saying that, well, I'm just gonna kind of start moving everything over to the village. Alright, maybe not quite. I definitely do actually want to do something to this house. I do think this house does deserve a big makeover, but I'm just loving that. Look at this, man. A few details that I probably should take care of, like a random block right there, but just look at how beautiful this actual village is when you come up to it. Maybe if I do something to the area down here as well on top of that, maybe even extend this thing going further ahead. Oh, there's so many things that can be done, man. 100 days is just not enough though. It just never is. But let's start off by doing this, and then I can take all of my polished deep slate and just kind of fill this area out real quick. I'm not sure I'm gonna stay with the polished deep slate, but at least I'll just put it in for now. Then what I can do is I can take my bookshelves, which will go around like this right here, and that. I believe I can then just slowly but surely fill it in. Okay, for some reason I only have the 28 now. Maybe because I misplaced that one, that should have been placed better. I do actually want to grab a few more bookshelves though. I have 13 emeralds, that's not a lot. Alright, we can talk to this guy right here, sell him a few emeralds, that puts us up to 26. And if we can then find the librarian that sells the bookshelves, that's you. What's up with it, bro? I can get 2 more. I would have liked a third one actually, of which I literally need 1 emerald, so let me just talk to you once again. You're not supposed to sleep, sir. You're trying to do work for me. There we are. That's 3 more bookshelves. Then if I fill these in just like this right here. Actually, you know what? Let's then remove these 2 at the back and then add them into the front right here. And then, yeah, then I'll get 2 more bookshelves for the back though. Yeah, but yeah, at least now we actually have the level 30 enchantment back. So I need 18 more emeralds to grab 2 more bookshelves. That'll be probably a nice little touch to the area itself. But then that actually means in terms of size, this thing is perfect because it only needs to be the exact size for this enchantment room to be. So in theory, that would mean that now I can actually remove this back block right here, right? Because you can get a little bit of a pattern going inside. But then if I just start filling these in all the way around, I can then kind of build the actual stem of the mushroom slowly but surely around these bookshelves and then going a little bit up, which will require me to get a bunch more stems, but that's not the issue. Right now we have a good way of actually getting bone meal from just utilizing these ones right here, the mushroom blocks, and then turning it into bone meal. It's quite a decent system actually. But then we can fill that all in, get the actual mushroom build out. And also, yeah, I've completely forgotten to talk about this right here. I've added in this random tree right here, just kind of like an amethyst weird looking shroom-like tree. To me, this kind of works in the village. I will say, I feel like it really works in with the village, like it just being as colorful as you can possibly make the village. I want to add in a handful of trees. I think I want to add in between 10 and 15 trees into the actual city itself. And I think they're going to do like a couple of different sizes and stuff like that. But I think that would add a lot into the actual city itself and make everything just look very much so complete. But if I can rather quickly finish off this area right here, we can then slowly but surely fill out the area around. And then when I'm done over here, make my way from house to house and make these pathways and the in-betweens and stuff like that filled out with different farms and maybe a couple flower fields and a few things like that to really add so much life into this village. So let's quickly finish off this mushroom. That feels like around at about the proper size to me. I was contemplating making it taller, but I also feel like you have to kind of have the feel of the farm in the back. I'm really loving the look with the sweet bear bushes behind this. I think it looks phenomenal. But this whole build right here feels perfect to me. So what we want to do now is we want to make some sort of extension out that kind of goes over this area over here, but we also want to add a few things around here. So what we could start off with, I think, is maybe around and about right here is where we can make some sort of little pool of sorts. Maybe potentially even remove a bit more lava, because apparently there's plenty down there. But yeah, this right here will then be where I have some sort of water. Yeah, this is going to require me to remove some of this obsidian. This is going to take a little while. So what we can do is we can add in a little water pool down here. And then if I take my water bottle, I can then turn some of it into mud. Just like that. Just for a little bit of extra detail, which probably none of you will ever even see. And then also, I gotta change the grass blocks down there. They can't be grass blocks. That won't really make sense underwater. Alright, subtle little details, but I do think it helps. Then I think my plan is to maybe potentially just extend it out slowly but surely, just going somewhere around out here, and then maybe it extends over to the side and hits this little area. Also, I definitely want to have it go over to here as well. And I suppose I can just kind of have it actually hit inside the mountain, so it just kind of looks like it's going in there, but I don't really have to do much about it. Just fill that in with dirt, and then I can fill that in just like that. Obviously, we gotta make sure we remove all this deep slate. We don't want that. And then if I just remove a couple more blocks over here where we have the gravel, and then exactly like before, we can just add in a few mud blocks around. Alright, that ends up looking something like this right here, which seems perfect to me. Just it adds a little bit more texture in the ground itself. You just don't really see it, but at the same time, I feel like it just works so well. Then maybe on the side right here, I would like to place down a cherry tree and see if I can actually just grow it with bone meal and see if it works in some. I probably won't actually grow there. Maybe the wall itself is too much in the way. What if I add 2 blocks up and then bone meal it? Okay. And then what I can quickly do is... see, if it had turned the other way, I think that would have looked real nice, but having it that way does not work for me. That does not work for me. I don't like that. While I wait for the leaves to all fall down and try and replant a new one to see if I can make it look a bit better, what I want to do is I want to figure out some sort of pathway from this right here going over there. So maybe what we could do is we could grab these logs and then very, very simply, all I have to do is that, boom, 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 boom. I would probably like it to actually go one step up now that I think about it. So that would mean this instead. We can then add this to each side. Maybe do that. Boom. Get them a little bit of love so they look just a little bit better at least. Then if we add in fences on both sides, then I can grab some more tough and also coarse dirt and have the path extend all the way into here. And then obviously also coming from here over to the actual house itself. Maybe I just put lanterns on each side of the actual bridge itself, because we slowly got this. I want to make sure that I don't have any torches on the ground. So having this is definitely helping with that. That adds something to the area. I like that. I think it actually... yeah, that does some good amount of stuff. That definitely does a bit. So then what I can do is maybe I can add in a few sugar canes around the area over here. Not too many, but just a couple to add a bit more life. And then maybe even on top of it in like the back areas where there aren't really any blocks to be placed really, I just throw in a couple of liliacs just to breathe a little bit more life into the dead area in the back. Not too many though, I can tell that already. Maybe just a couple like that. That seems fine to me. Even though you probably won't really be able to see them, maybe on the ground where there aren't any in the back, I just throw in a couple of these white tulips to make sure, yeah, just a little extra, like that. Then what I should do is I should make sure I grab some of my drip leaves as well. But I suppose before doing that, I can try attempt number 2 of seeing if I can get a tree that I like. And if not, maybe we have to build one ourselves. It probably will actually stay going that way since the actual house itself Yeah, it kind of stops it from growing out. Let me try and remove these blocks right here and actually just fill in the tree itself so it hits the ground, because it does look a bit odd due to the fact that it doesn't actually hit the ground. What if I just go up and trim it a bit down in places so it doesn't look so chunky everywhere? I think that actually helped a little bit. Does seem still odd in a few places though. Yeah, I think that has a much better feeling to it. Just a little, it's alright. I think it's honestly alright. It probably means I want to go a bit heavy again with the actual lily axe over here, because it really does fit in quite beautifully with the tree. So I don't want to overdo it, but I just want to add in like a few things like this right here around the ground to add a bit more life and just kind of fill in the area without having to really do all that much to it. Subtle little details right there, that works. Then I know somewhere in between all of my madness in all of my chests lying around left, right, and center, I have some more drip leaves that I want to add to the water. And on top of that, while we are down here, I want to grab a few of the axolotls. Not too many, but a few. Especially ones like you that's a bit more colored. So then what we can do is we can just kind of fill in the axolotls up here. It adds so much to the area. Love that. I want to grab 2 more, I think. So we just have 4 axolotls up there. Okay, let's throw you in there and you in here. And then what I have now is a few drip leaves. Then could be nicely added in a couple of places around here. Alright, yeah, that plenty does. I don't want to have too many in there. Maybe in like a few random areas like this right here. Maybe I can just add like in a few glow berries every now and then. If I see like an area that just feels like it could use one, I just add one in. It definitely has brought a lot more life to the area. And the axolotls just does so much without even really doing anything. Like they're just there, just swimming around, and it just feels much more alive. Then maybe on the side, we just start adding in a few more flowers. I'm just gonna kind of go flower heavy on this area right here, just to kind of bring something in that isn't all that insane. Just something like that, so we have a bunch of different flowers in the area. In the back over here, you're really not going to be able to ever really see this area. So I think from just start to finish, everywhere around here at the back, I'll just literally add in flowers from start to finish, creeping in all the way through the back right here, going all the way out to the... And we will have a little bit of something right here. So what if I just add in the path extending out from over here to in there? And then inside here, we can add another little pond where maybe we add a few sugar canes around the back. Maybe for a bit of more so randomness, I just add in a few hay bales in the area here. Won't really ever see them, but they're there. They are there. Whenever I walk up here, which I will never ever do, I have a beautiful sight of some hay bales. I guess then let's just go nuts on a few plants to get as many as we can, just to fill in the back in there. These to bring our space and inventory quickly and easily. We can just kind of fill this back area in with a few flowers that goes all the way out to the front, and then these will grow in due time. Then utilizing a bit more of this bone meal, I think I want to grab a handful more of these flowers. They do look pretty nice. They definitely do add a bit of life to the actual area itself. So let's get a few more of them and just add into the side over here where there aren't really anything that really works too well. Maybe we could make like a whole line like this. Am I even at a point right now where I have any more small flowers? Or have I truly spent... Oh, actually, sweet berries. I like my sweet berries, man. I might be the only person ever who truly likes sweet berries. But if I'm being honest with you, man, look at this. You can't tell me they don't look like nice. I think they look really nice, actually. Probably mean that for, at least for this area to look somewhat solid, should probably just add these little flowers in all the way around. So it ends up being something like this right here. Now every single area is actually like filled in with a block basically. I actually really like this. I definitely would agree if anyone said that this is kind of over exaggeration at its finest. But you know what, man? It's kind of what this area is supposed to be. This area over here is kind of supposed to be a little bit like, I guess I would almost say like magical without really being magical. Maybe like a random little detail, but we could add in just a fence. Just a nice little fence to the side. It actually kind of works. So that in theory actually completely finishes off this entire spot over here. But what I think I want to do last but not least is inside this room. What I can do is I can take a few of my wooden blocks, turn them into oak. Then we can make some chests that we can kind of fill in here, so we just have a bit of storage in here. And then maybe I bring an anvil and a grindstone in here. That would, yeah, so like an anvil right here and a grindstone right there. Let's maybe even, while we are at it, in the floor itself, let's remove a few blocks right there to the side and just add in crafting tables. Maybe we add a few blocks coming down from the roof. I think these will add like a little bit of an effect. Look, if you just stand like right here, it just adds a bit of an effect. I like that. Look at that. Doesn't look the prettiest in the roof itself, but if you stand right here, that actually makes it look even more magical. Yeah, I like that. Okay, now this area is completely finished off, which means that we gotta start working on the other areas around the actual village houses. And like I said earlier, we are 100% gotta add in a few more trees on top of that. I definitely like that. I want to make sure I kind of switch it up a little bit going forward around the village, so it's not just flowers everywhere around the village, but it was kind of more so filled back towards this spot over here. And then the further we get into the village, it's going to become more villagey village, because that's now a word. Maybe right here in the back where we kind of have a bit of a bigger area, I could even do a little marketplace potentially. Something that I am desperately trying to go for right now is more lanterns. We ran out, surprisingly. I know, right? But like, how did you run out, man? It's not like you spent that many, is it? And I would agree with you. No, I don't spend that many. Who told you I did that? Won't be too harsh. We just gotta chop all of these beauties down and sell a few pieces of paper. It is being close to the point where I'm almost contemplating going all the way down back to the real village where we got all of those pieces of clay. Because it is a really quick and easy way to get a whole bunch of emeralds. But honestly, right now I can't really be bothered to make that long of a run. I'm also realizing that I am definitely spending a lot more time on this village than I thought I was gonna do. It's kind of just turned into a full-on village project. That was never actually meant to be the thing, but it is definitely happening. I only got 6 lanterns from that. I desperately need emeralds. If we can just add in these few lanterns going around here. Sweet. And now we can move a little further into the actual village. One thing that we gotta figure out as well is what we want to do inside these different village houses. I think this house down at the bottom right here actually has a really nice size for adding in a chest room. So what I could start off by doing is making myself a whole crazy amount of crafting tables. Whenever I built these houses right here, I for some reason always loved having my crafting tables go all the way from the floor all the way over to the top. No idea why I like that, but I do. Then we can add in a whole bunch of chests. What we can do is we can make a double chest on this side and then just a one next to it. Fortunately, we can't actually have anything up there. But a double and a one, and then we need a bit more wood since I ran out to fill in this side. And we can even make a 1 and a 1 over here. What I need to complete that room is we need item frames though. We definitely 100% need item frames. Which obviously in this world is quite annoying to get. There's so many small normal things that feels like the easiest thing ever. That just kind of becomes like a massive hassle in this world. But I definitely do feel it's necessary for us to have item frames. Because then I can have disgusting wood like that on it and at least I'll know that's where my wood is. That's dirt. That's not wood. But you know exactly what I mean though. This room is cool. It also means that random chests like this right here, which apparently I just have going on everywhere, can finally actually get sorted into different rooms. Okay, I've definitely went overboard, but this will be our chest room. There's a lot of storage in here. We probably won't be needing more storage than this for a while. And then if we just can get all of these item frames, this will literally be perfect. Then maybe if we have like item frames, we could add like item frames to the side out here at the walls, and then I'll add chests into those item frames, and this can be like the chest house. So many ideas, so little time. This is not something I want to spend too much time on at the moment, since you can't really see too much of the insides. I want to make sure I finish off the insides, but like for example, spending like an hour in the Nether trying to get enough leather, that's not really what I'm all about right now. That would feel really wasteful. My most important task right now is the whole outside right here is all I really truly care about right now. So what I need to do now is I need to cut down a couple of these trees over here to get a few more oak logs. And then what I can do is add all of these different amethyst trees into the town itself, and hopefully I'll have enough shroom lights. Only 26, which is not too many, but it should be a decent amount. I think the plan is that right here I want to make the actual chicken farm. So there's 7 blocks between the houses, which fits perfectly. If I can just add in this fence where it ends off here and there. This ginormous area right here will be for the chickens. And obviously everything gotta be perfect in here. So what I want to do is I want to definitely add a little bit for the chickens to make their life a little nicer. So since we know chicken likes seeds, I'll add a little bit of wheat here since almost that. It's seed turning into wheat, so kind of makes sense. Then in the middle right here, we can add another one of our beautiful trees. I want to make this one pretty tall. Not really sure why I want to make it very tall, but I know one thing, and it is that I want to. So therefore I'll do it. Hopefully the chickens will like that. What I think I want to add to the trees is I think I want to add glowberries, like kind of running down on the sides. I don't want them to go too far, but I do think it would look cool if it kind of ran down to like maybe one of them ran down to there and then one a little further up. I just need a shear to make sure that they don't go any further up and down than I want. Maybe the chickens would even like a few flowers as well. That's probably all that I want to do for the actual chickens. Now I just gotta bring them over here. Okay, they did just give me 26 eggs. I could make this a lot easier for myself if I could just hatch a few chickens over there and then just kind of wait. Then we can just kill these guys off. Except KFC. KFC, no. We can't do that to KFC. You know what, bro? I just can't even do that at all. I just realized that literally just because of KFC, I can't make myself do that. I'm gonna bring them over there. This will be so annoying, but in theory it should be worth it. At least for KFC's sake. Okay, this is not going to be annoying at all, actually. This is not even you guys are not villagers. That's true, though. I am realizing you guys are not villagers. You're not, like, the most annoying thing ever. The way they look at me, bro, I love this. Yeah, what's up, guys? Come on, now. They're like, oh, look at this. We're, like, almost perfectly marching. Come on, boys. Yeah, let's go to war. What do you guys want to fight? Should we fight the villagers? Yeah, screw those guys, right? This is too good, bro. Random, but too good. Alright, come on. And no, not even an issue walking through this. It's just everything about these guys is phenomenal. And then I suppose I'll breed a couple more. I don't really want like a billion chickens, but I do want a few. Then let's see if we can pop a few eggs. Alright, that brings over all the chickens. So now there's a bit more life just with that in the village itself. Maybe this area right here could be turned into a kind of blacksmith area. We could bring in a little bit of lava, we can bring in a few things, stone cutters, maybe I can go around and grab a few different ores as well. Let's definitely do that. This could work perfectly in this area. Just gotta get trimmed a little down and it will look perfect. Alright, after a lot of work and a lot of a lot of different things, I have basically finished off the entire town. So let's go through it slowly but surely and just take a look at everything. So of course we have our entire side over here, which I think is just perfectly, like, I just really love this side right here. I think it's so freaking amazing. Loving the feel of just going into this enchantment room right here, which is something that I gotta utilize a lot more since, well, I'm literally running around with a gold helmet right now. That's ridiculous, man. But then if we come a little bit further into the town right here, everything is just coming together so nicely, man. But extending everything, just making sure that every area feels alive, feels beautiful. And I just really love it, man. I want to keep a couple of areas like this, just with a little bit of grass. I don't want to completely fill in every single block around here. I want to keep it a little open so it doesn't feel too compact, especially through the middle right here. The middle is where I really made sure I left off doing too much building because it would just kind of feel so tight and so packed, and I just really didn't like that. And then we come over to this area, which this might be my favorite area, man. I freaking love this area so much, man. This turned out even better than I thought it would. And then what I want to do is over time, when I kill different zombies and skeletons and stuff like that, they will drop their armor. I will just put that armor on the armor stands. I think that would be like a cool little thing. So just slowly but surely over a bunch of days, you like fill these out, and maybe we even add in more at a future point. But one thing is missing: the villagers. We gotta get the villagers over here. Now for the houses themselves, I was realizing that I need places to put down all the beds, and if I completely dig out these houses like I did this one in here, I won't have any places to actually place the beds. So we will take the beds over here and see how much they fill up all the houses, and if I were to guess, I think they will literally completely fill up each and every single house. We'll see if that's going to be the case or not. For now, what I want to do is I want to be simple about this. I don't want to bother too much, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove these right here and build this wall, and this wall will just force the villagers to go through the bridge and over to the other side. At least hopefully that should be the way this works. Very much so crossing my fingers that this will work like that and we won't have any issues whatsoever. There should not be one single place at all throughout this entire place that a villager can like accidentally get out of there. I think I have basically villager proof every single corner, every single area, and if not, well then I will find out. Then I definitely will find out, and I am gonna be sad. That's for sure. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna build this pathway in here that forces these villagers to only have one choice, and that is to slowly but surely make their way over to the town. I do not know if they'll actually use a ladder, so let's remove the ladder just for safe. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna completely open up this area, fully empty out my inventory, and grab every single bed and every single thing in here and just put it over to the other town. Now the town is a little bit of a distance away, so I don't actually know how many of these guys will make it over to the town, but I'm hoping that slowly but surely they'll just kind of go over here by themselves. But for now, all I can really do is I can just grab every single bed, throw it down here, and then hope that they make their way over here. Okay, there's definitely not as many beds as I thought there were. That's actually a bad thing. Now it won't end up being an issue whatsoever. It just means that I will have to actually make sure that these guys do actually get beds, because we need to fill up as much as we can in this town. Like I want a whole bunch of villagers to be over here. Yeah, we just make sure we throw down all of their different jobs so they can actually get in here and take the different jobs. And then hopefully, whenever it maybe hits nighttime, that's like the one time I feel like maybe they will just start going over here, because I don't know, they probably won't be able to see the beds from over there, but they're definitely not making any progress though. Hopefully they will go over there. And that brings every single villager into our city. It is now alive. It is, this is dope. This is really dope. I want even more villagers though. But for that to happen, I would need so many more beds. Now one way we could get more villagers is from a shepherd, but I don't really have that much string. Do I really only have one piece of string? That's kind of crazy, bro. Only one piece of string? That is a ridiculous thing. That just requires me to see if I can find a few spiders down here. You guys are not spiders. Actually, I don't need spiders. I have now realized I have a brain. Yeah, I have a stone sword right here. And right down here, I have a massive supply of string, with hopefully no spiders coming for me. There's a spawner there actually, so I gotta be a little quick. Okay, they didn't even want to spawn. Fine by me. I'm not complaining about that. I really just run out right away. Imagine being on day 92. And this is my way of getting wool. The limitations in this world are crazy, but that's kind of what makes it fun. Alright, that's another sword completely broken. I think I will just take this. That's it for now. And then when I don't need you, and then just when I don't need you guys, you spawn in swarms. So I guess we just utilize all this string to actually make a shepherd and a bunch of wool. So we just make one shepherd for now. Had to check Google. This is the way you make it. You make a loom like that. Then we gotta find a villager that did not grab a job yet, which might actually be an issue. Actually, because I've put out... Does this guy take jobs? No, that's the guy that... I hate that guy. Hate that guy so much. See, I've put these around everywhere, barrels, which is kind of like my own fault, but that means that I will have a ridiculous amount of fishermen. Oh, you know what I've just realized now? When I built the walls over here, I actually didn't put barrels down at the bottom right here like I did in the other one. I guess they're kind of split up, so having like two different things on like different sides is not the worst thing. Okay, you know what? That's a mistake, but we stick with it. So this again, now that all of these guys is gonna take all those jobs and not actually the jobs that I want, that makes me want even more villages than I wanted already. So I guess we'll just make as many beds as we can, which should be a decent amount. That's 22 pieces of wool. That gives me 7 new beds. It's a start. The more villages, the better. Then what I should probably do actually is harvest these farms down here and go and throw in a bunch of these carrots, wheat, and potatoes to the villages. Actually, a lot of them is just about grown. I'm gonna give them like a couple more minutes before I do that then. But I'm just gonna throw that to the boys so they can then breed up like crazy, and we'll get a bunch more villager. And there's more string. Knew I had more string. I was like, there's no way I had like 1 piece only. But that basically does it for this town. Now we still have 8 days left until we hit those 100 days. So we gotta figure out a little bit of another project that we have time for now. We can't really do too much of a big project since the time is definitely running out for this. But if you are watching right now, make sure to hit that like button and I will continue this world. I will not stop after these 100 days if you guys are really enjoying this series. We can make this our literal, just actual hardcore world. And if I don't die, maybe even our forever world, or at least until I make a big mistake. So I went back over here to our village and I grabbed myself a whole bunch of axolotls, a couple of tropical fish, and a good amount of clay balls. That was all I could get right now, but I just wanted to have some more axolotls, man. I really, really do. I love them. They're just fun, look great, and you know, why not, right? Why not just, bro? Actually, you know what, man? I'm gonna grab some yellow flowers as well. Might look nice in my little town, bro. Let me just run all the way back home and we can put a couple more axolotls into our town. Yeah, let's throw a couple more axolotls into this little pond right here. This one could do with a little bit more life at least. There's still a good amount of life in here, but even more axolotls won't hurt. So then now my question is, breeding axolotls, right? Is this the way you do it right here, where if you throw down 2 axolotls like this, and then I throw in tropical fish, do they then eat the tropical fish? Okay, he definitely ate it, or at least killed it. I've never done this before. I don't actually know how this works. Well, I can eat it myself, but he doesn't seem to. I actually don't know how this works. I've never done this. Oh, sorry, bro. Sorry for that. Well, I'm kind of sitting you down to actually get annihilated by axolotls, but still, I guess being nice, at least let you die that way. Okay, now I've thrown down each and every single tropical fish that I did have. They don't seem to actually attack them. I might have to watch the video. I've never actually done this. I'm kind of realizing that's something that I've never ever done. Yeah, that's too little. I want to at least give him some space, the axolotls. I think that would not be fair. You know what, man? This area is empty. I'm gonna extend this out and give even more space to the axolotls then. Why not? You just remove this whole back area right here and fully extend it out. I suppose while I'm at it, we could then add in some more axolotls. And then we can add a few of our yellow flowers here, because, well, apparently I've become insane about flowers. If you haven't noticed. If you didn't notice, I seem to like flowers in this game. Alright, there's definitely some slaying going on. I don't know exactly what that means, or if it even brings me new babies, but at least something's definitely happening. I don't know if I feel bad though. We don't really care about that anymore though. We gotta move on. Okay, this guy right here is one of the new masons, so I can sell him a bunch and just make a few nice little emeralds. And then what I want to do now is I actually want to make a little trip down, because I've been sitting here contemplating what else could I do, especially as a bigger project moving forward. And I do think that there is a lot of things to do in this world. So when I walk down, specifically down here, this place around here is where I'm kind of thinking I want to do my next project. More specifically than here is actually kind of slinging around and then going down there. Now the idea for this next project is a ginormous mine. So what I'm thinking is in the sense and the feel of like a Lord of the Rings type thing, where you just have like a ginormous, like Erebor or the Mines of Moria. So like I could maybe like make like a few statues at the front going in, clear out a bit of the roof, and then open it up and you go down into the actual mines themselves. themselves. It would probably be a absolutely insanely massive project, but I think that's really cool, right? Like for these first 100 days that we've just had around and about, this town up here is kind of like the main project. The house was also a pretty big project, but well, I don't know why I'm keep on disrespecting the house. What I should do is, we have about 6 days left. I want to spend these last 6 days making the house the best I can possibly make this house, because I do think this house deserves the love and respect. I really do. I think this house is super freaking cool, and the fact that I've not really given it any love just feels wrong to me. So let me think and see what I can do with this house. Alrighty, I've grabbed a few blocks that I think will come in handy. So what I'm thinking is that step number 1, which is change out the entire floor. That changes the floor completely. Now what I'm thinking is that I want to turn all of these into 4 different rooms. The way of making these different rooms could maybe go something like what I'm doing here, where I just take these all the way from the start to finish. Then obviously we gotta give him the casual loving touch, and then probably like right here we can throw in doors to enter the room. That would be something like that, and then the roof are obviously slabs. That is true. So then that would probably require me to just throw in a bunch of slabs all the way through that. But then we come to something like this right here. I just need to fill in the top, obviously. All I would need to do is just grab myself a handful of slabs, and then the ones that fits can easily fill in. Perfect, nice and easy. Then what I'm thinking is that this kind of feels a little off, right? So what if this might not work? Let's test. We just take our dark oak slabs and then oh yeah, we can't do that because of the uneven. You know what, bro? That will have to do. I can't do much about that then. Then what I can do is I can take my glass and turn all of my glass into glass panes. And then all I have to do is just fill in all of these windows. So then what I could do is I could just kind of make each room a different theme. So for example, if I grabbed this one right here, the brewing stand, and then threw this inside this area right here, and then I threw in like maybe like 5 more brewing stands with a couple of different things in here. This could be like the brewing stand area, and then this in here, I could throw down a portal like right here, and then just kind of fill the room out a little bit, and then this will be like the Nether portal room. And then these last 2 over here, God knows what I'll do with those, but at least I could do something right. But all I need to do is just do this exact thing on all 4 of them. Let's do a magical spin, and in 3, 2, 1. And that gives us 4 rooms to work with inside this house. Few details we might be able to add around here could be maybe something like this right here. That doesn't quite work. I don't know. What? I don't like this. What if I did something like this all the way around? Yeah, okay, missed one right there. But if I just did this all the way around, I think that looks better. It definitely looks better. I don't know if I think it looks great, but I definitely do prefer it, that's for sure. And obviously we gotta remove stuff like this right here. Now I don't really have much to put in this room right now, so obviously there's not too many things that we can do, but I'm just gonna throw this down, just let it stay right there for now. At least just better than nothing. It's definitely better than nothing, that's for sure. And the further we go down the line, I need to reason why I'm not gonna take out this room is I'll literally have to make a full-on new trip into the Nether, and I don't really have time for that. But what I do have time for is to grab some of this obsidian, and literally right here is where we can put down the actual portal itself. And I have my flint and steel, so we can just light it back up. Actually, no, I don't want to listen to it. That's how it is right now. We can just do something like that, make it look a little nicer. Now, exactly what type of decoration I want to do in this room right here, that's actually a really interesting. What if I did... If I grab some soul sand, I grab some nether warts, maybe some shroom lights for safety. Probably not going to need them, but I'll at least grab them. Definitely want to take these soul lantern. Then I want to grab some of this nether wart, more nether blocks. Okay, so what we could possibly do is... maybe the nether wart and stuff could be better working inside this room right here, where we just make some sort of little farm. We can even make another one in here, actually. Why not? Maybe if I just throw down a couple of these nether warts out to the side, and maybe I add a few soul lanterns into it. So we do something like this, and then maybe we remove a little bit of the floor. And then inside of the floor, we throw down our soul sand and we throw down some of these right here so they can like start growing. Maybe actually replace even more of the floor. Then maybe for a cool effect, I don't know if this is gonna look cool or not, but I feel like it could potentially look a little cool. And then throw down the amethyst blocks kind of leading in a sense on the way up to the portal. Yeah, I actually kind of dig that. That doesn't look too bad. Maybe inside the corner right here, we just throw down a few of these netherwort blocks. Obviously, we gotta add some of these soul lanterns to bring a bit of light into the area. It brings it to something like this. Then potentially randomly in the back right here, I just throw down a bunch of this amethyst. Not exactly sure why, but just kind of for like the heck of it. I guess it kind of really doesn't make all that much sense, but it just brings at least something to the actual area in here. Then maybe in the back right here, we just kind of throw in a whole bunch more of these netherwort blocks. Maybe we add in a few more of these lanterns without it being too many. And then I should probably try and light up the portal to see. Okay, you can kind of like see through it, so it gives that a little bit of vibe. I think that's a good addition to it. Then maybe around in the floor in the back right here, add a few more pieces of soul sand and a little bit more of the warts growing. And then in theory, I think that should actually be it, right? Not really much more that's needed to be done inside here. Maybe last thing is I add these around here. See, if I want to add them, I think it should be singles. Yeah, let's do singles then. And then got one lantern left. Let's just throw that in there since it's gonna save me a little bit of space. I have so much junk already. If I do that, I don't know why, but I like that. I don't think I should like it, but I kind of like it. Let's do that. So that's gonna be this room right here, our little nether portal room. Kind of love this. I think this is very simple, but looks really cool actually. Yeah, I can definitely work with that. I think that looks properly nice. Maybe what I could do is like with this amethyst right here, kind of even more so just fill in. So it's kind of like almost like an amethyst geode kind of thing where it's like a portal inside. All right, perfect. That's that room. No more. Room done. Our nether portal room is done. I have a little bit of time. Let's see if I can make a run over to the fortress and kill a couple of blazes. Let's see if we have the time for it. 6 blaze rods should probably make for a nice decent amount in there. So let's just make ourselves 6 brewing stands. And I don't know exactly how to do this, but we gotta figure out some sort of way to build something that feels, well, that feels right inside that room. And then what I want to do is I think I want to add in vines on top of here. I know it's kind of weird, but just bear with me right here. I think it actually could work. Okay, it seems like it has to be a little longer for it to fully flex in. I believe if I do that and then bone meal it right, yeah, that should probably give me enough. Then we can add those in all the way through. Let's just bone meal all of them. I don't know why, but I feel like it kind of like looks like it's doing something to the brewing stands. Maybe that's just me, but I do like it. Then at the back right here, I kind of want them to go like all the way down. So it seems like we have ourselves a little farm of them. Even though we're, yeah, that, I think that works. And what I can do over to the side right here is I can throw down this one and bone meal it, chop it down. Did it just go through the, what? Wait, it didn't, right? It's because I think it's because I did forget to block this one off. I don't think I'm tripping. Okay, I'm not, yeah. I was about to say, ain't no way it actually did go through, but it didn't. There we are. So these are like growing to the side. Maybe let's actually start off by removing this one. And then what I want to do is I think I want to add in these around here. Bear with me for a second. And that one in the middle with the brewing stand on top of it. So it kind of looks like it's like some sort of like really special. Probably throw a lantern on top of it so we can start removing these torches on the floor, because I definitely don't want to have torches around. Then in the back of each side, we can add that in and add that in. This probably is lining the area up completely, so we don't have to worry about anything. Then I have 11 pieces of soul sand. Do I only have that many? I thought I would have more. Well, let's just throw all of these in, and then we need the warp. So then we have a little warp farm inside right here. They have a leaf farm. We have a weeping vines. We have these, which I can't remember the name of. What are they called? Twisting vines. And that should probably actually be all that I would need for this room. What we could maybe do is add a few chests into the, maybe just a double chest on the side and then another one to the side right here, so it kind of has some sort of storage for the room. I don't think this room needs more. There's no reason in overdoing anything in here. It should be a simple room where you can just kind of get to work and, you know, make all of your different potions. So I consider that a check off the list. But I still have zero idea what to do with any of these rooms. So they will be for a future thing. So I've just kind of added like a little staircase for now, this one here, so we can get up to the upper area at some point, which we don't really need to worry about right now. It would be literally pointless since, well, I'm not going to build anything up there. What I would love to do is I would actually love to take a step back and fully look at this entire area. So if we can make our way over to the other side from our god tier next level beautiful bridge. Look at this, bro. This is so cool, man. If you got a giant house. Oh my god. Can you leave me in peace, bro? Like, see the village over there. Oh my god, it's burning. Oh, no. Why is it burning? Bro, I removed so much lava. I don't understand how it's burning then. Damn it, it's gonna burn down my entire village. It's gonna literally burn down my entire village. Oh my. Bro, this is such BS. This is literally bull. This is actually bull, bro. Why the f is this lava? Like, I've removed so much. There's no way that's happening right now. Emergency. Get away. Emergency. Emergency. Okay, at least none of the villagers is able to escape. I gotta figure out where this lava comes from. And with that, we have now survived 100 days in a caves-only world. I 100% want to continue this, man. I think the massive next project should be that mine. That would be so incredible, so cool. I am loving this village right here. I want to keep on building. Maybe we can even extend this thing in the future, make it bigger, make it crazier. If you have any ideas for any sort of builds, do just let me know. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. This is probably my favorite 100 days that I've ever done in my entire life, and I want to continue this world, man. So make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, stay around, let's have some fun. And if you have any ideas for anything, like I said, do just let me know. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the most amount of fun I've had in a while.